Ward.
And
today,
everybody.
Oh, sorry, I should let you say hi. Today, we're going to look at Twilio.
This is our first attempt at this, so the format is taking shape. I'm very much looking forward to subjecting Twilio to the pressure here, because Twilio is one of those services, applications that people always hold up as a really good developer experience, and I want to see if that's true.
So our format here is Chris is going to drive on his computer, and we're both going to be little talking heads in the corner. And I'm going to sort of comment on what Chris is doing, and every episode we may switch spots. We're recording every 2 weeks on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. How long are you going to give me? What's the time limit? What are we thinking? Sort of 5 to 10 minutes, something like that. I guess it's going to be a bit loose. If we're so close to finishing, let's not just cut it off. But if it starts to take too long, then don't go any further, I guess. I don't know. I think it's going to be a little organic.
I think that
time it.
From my experience, I think everybody thinks their developer experience takes 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And typically you can't get started within half an hour. So I think we should shoot for 30 minutes, especially with our rambling and commentary.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up my screen and let's see how we go. I'm going to switch views. All right. So Twilio. What is Twilio actually? We should probably firstly explain to people what Twilio is. What do you understand it as?
Well, Twilio made its fame through the SMS API, and now it offers a whole different array of solutions, one of which I'm pretty familiar with, had the opportunity to become pretty familiar with recently, which is video.
Okay.
I think for this demo, we should go with SMS just because it's basically their typical hello world. And I think we're both really curious about what it looks like to do this in 2021.
I think also I'd be interested to see, so starting from the very beginning here, I've got kind of this big banner. So I'm going to go really I have never heard of Twilio. I don't know what Twilio is. So I'm seeing a lot of banner here. It's time to build, et cetera, et cetera. Still don't really know what I'm building. I will say that. Intelligent customer engagement. I'm not really sure what that means, to be honest with you. It's time to build for a work from anywhere world. Don't really know what that means either. But I have that Twilio. So let's jump in.
Yeah,
the core has also changed periodically.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, we're off to a great start. I think the building is the main thing.
That button didn't show up every time, but oh, okay. I have to create an account. This is always fun.
The first thing a developer always wants to do, right?
It really is, and also because I stand the chance of doing some giving people access to my account. I'm just going to have to drop the screen out temporarily. This is always the problem with this stuff live. I don't want people to see my password and hack into my account. So let's do that. And with a service account, it's almost impossible not to create an account. So
we can talk a bit about it. I've been doing this for like 10 years now, and a really big part of this self-serve model, the API kind of on-demand model, was having these demo accounts that let you build and try these things before they started. And now that the industry's matured, we're seeing a lot more forms asking for credit cards before you even get started, because there's so much potential for abuse.
Okay, that's interesting you say that, because I've always found that to be annoying, I must admit, and I wasn't 100% sure why. And actually, you're right, you do get that credit card check, which I'd never actually thought about the legitimate reason for that. So I'm glad you told me that.
I think cards are looking for quick users, right, and trials, and so they're like, demo account, whatever, VC money, send as many SMS messages as you want, and we'll just take care of it in post. But now that these are giant corporations, it's a bit more, we don't want to have any risk associated in this beginning, because, you could sign up and send 100 million SMSs or whatever. So
the irony being, of course, that Twilio probably provides those services. So just to give people a quick idea of where I'm up to, because I'm still at a point where I don't want to give away personal information. I verified my email address, and now I'm being asked to verify my phone number, which I do not want to give out on a live
Yeah,
stream.
yeah.
So bear with me, and then we will be sharing again very soon. Here we go. So I need to enter an SMS code, which I'm getting on my phone. Hopefully.
I mean, imagine
Yes,
being
I
in
have got on my phone. So
an office setting, and you're asked to sign up for Twilio, and the first thing is you have to go get your boss's credit card to get started, right? So
yeah, I haven't had to do that, fortunately. Just verify my identity as an email address and an SMS. Okay, right. We're now at a point where I'm happy to share my screen again. So here we go.
All right.
So what am I interested in using? This is where we'll see. So we now have SMS, voice. I'm guessing this is authentication, verification, chat and conversations, video. I'm actually interested to know what the video might be. WhatsApp, IoT and wireless, SIP trunking. SIP is the kind of like soft voice over IP phones, isn't it? I think.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure what Flex is.
I do know.
Let's go for SMS. What do you plan on building? I kind of like the idea of alerts, maybe.
Wait, open that again.
Yeah.
So, asset management through SMS sounds kind of interesting. But I'm just what I'm pointing out is that it's not populated by the what am I here to do, right? Like there's some optimization there where you can say like, well, I'm probably not going to make SMS asset management, but this is for the sales team, so. Yeah. It's not. I'm curious if this will affect what shows up on the next screen.
Well, I'll go for something simple and we'll see what happens. With code, build on top of code. I think the middle option is probably going to be the best because I don't exactly know what I'm doing right now, but I want to do some code. Preferred coding language. Oof, I don't know. I've got to put myself on the spot here. Let's go for JavaScript. Would you like Twilio to host your code?
Give some background on your experience with JavaScript and Twilio.
So my background with Twilio is from a long time ago when I actually used to edit the mobile channel of a website called SitePoint. I think we did have some Twilio tutorials then when it literally probably was just SMS and calls, I think. I guess I'm picking JavaScript. I'm vaguely familiar with most of these languages. Oops. Rookie mistake there. Do not disturb. Okay. I'm vaguely familiar with all these languages, but I think the one I am going to be most comfortable with just from no context whatsoever is JavaScript.
All right. Let's go for it. I mean, these things should be accessible to anyone with some amount of experience, right? Yeah. So host my code on Twilio.
Easiest right now. I like the sound of this. So I think so. I can. I'm not 100% sure what it could mean. I'm guessing it could mean I could run this in a container somewhere or on AWS or something like that.
I think they're going to put you in Twilio Flex with like serverless or something. I'm really curious what happens here.
Serverless. Wow. Twilio has certainly changed since I last looked. So let's see. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Billing dashboard. Oh.
And if anyone is concerned with speed, I will say that I am streaming 1080p video right now, so speed is sometimes throttled a little. Okay.
So that was all just for the sales team because we didn't get anything that was remotely related to any of that.
So now I think about what I want to do next. I've kind of a little bit. I'm feeling slightly overwhelmed with potential options here. I could learn the basics. I could learn like things that are jumping out at me. I could learn the beta console. I could get a trial phone number. And those are the things that jump out at me, but none of those are really what I want.
There's quite a few call to actions, right? There's 3 primary and 1 secondary just without scrolling. And you go down and there's 3 more.
Yeah. I kind of want to start SMS quick start, I guess is what I want. It's sort of strange that this is kind of feels like a lesser option to me. The thing I'm not 100% sure about, which is if I need a trial phone number or not. And I can already foresee a problem here because if I'm outside of the US, although we could just use Ian's phone number, I have to upgrade my account and meet regulatory requirements, which sounds like something that's not going to be possible in 5 minutes. So it's not really Twilio's fault. But
so are you completely excluded from this because you're not in the US? Like, is this it for your developer experience right now?
I'm not 100% sure. Read the regulatory requirements is an interesting statement.
This is really your CPA. It would be like, welcome to Twilio, read the regulation.
What I'm also thinking is that maybe there's going to be some kind of sandbox fake number I can use in the dashboard. What I'm probably going to do, and I'm probably really upsetting people at Twilio here, but this is, in my mind, what developers would do, is I'm going to skip all this and just go to the documentation instead and see where that takes me.
Okay.
Okay. Ahoy world via SMS and a few lines of code. Okay. Will teach me how to send and receive text messages. Okay. Getting your first Twilio-powered phone number, so I will find out soon enough. Choose my programming language. I guess Node. Okay. Oh, hello. Lots of code. All right. With a few lines of code, your Node application can send and receive text messages with Twilio programmable SMS. Use a REST API and a helper. So I do need to get a phone number. All right. Show me how it's done. Let's see. Maybe there's a virtual phone number I can get or something like that. Let's see.
Show me how it's done.
We've got our
free trial account here.
We have that already, I think.
You verified your number. Series of questions. Oh, see, this is what I was commenting on before. You asked a series of questions to customize your experience, but that's actually not true because we didn't get anything that was relevant.
I feel like that's something that Twilio used to do, which is
strange. No, I do too.
I have jumped around.
Yeah,
I have jumped around.
It would send you we just immediately said we were making a JavaScript SMS. Yeah. Instead of docs, it should have just sent you to this page directly, right?
Well, maybe because I jumped around. We're gonna have a quick look back.
I don't know. I thought it was going to do the proper thing for a minute, but it's I think really that's just a nightmare to maintain those actual.
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't we go for it? Yeah. So one thing I think you'll have to do is make an environment file, or see if Twilio lets you cycle the keys. So if we expose them on camera, they're not.
Yeah, I have no. That I will do that later. I have no credit or anything right now, so I haven't got any credit cards on file. So I'm not. If you don't own a Twilio, you need to purchase one, which is a problem. And again, this is not really Twilio's fault. Operating SMS functionality requires infrastructure that's a little out of their control. So it looks like I will have to buy a phone number, which is a pain. But let's have
I don't know that you'll have to to see behind the curtain a bit. I've actually done some developer experience testing on Twilio before.
Yeah.
And most of the testers that we worked with didn't have to use a credit card or purchase a number. So I think it showed in your account you have $15 of credit in your portal.
You are. I think I saw that. Yeah, you're right. Somewhere.
Yeah, it's up there. Trial balance $15. So that's already another thing in the documentation that's not correct.
There we go. All right. So you reckon I should just continue down the code path?
Yeah, I think so. I'm wondering why that line's even in there because it seems. Sure, let's write some JavaScript.
Install Node. I've got that. Node version. That's fine. Okay. Install. Okay. I need to. Actually, one thing I know I need to do here is actually need to do this in a folder, really, ideally. But that's okay. Okay. Oops. Right.
Nice.
Always the fun with node modules is it can take an eternity, but this looks quite good so far. that wasn't too bad. Good. All right. Okay. It's interesting because I have all this code here, but I haven't actually needed it yet. I'm guessing this is just saying if I want to ignore all of this text, I can just paste some code in and off I go.
That's what I would have done, yeah. I'm happy you're driving for this first episode because I totally would have just copied and pasted that and then brute forced my way through.
I guess all paths are valid. Send an outbound text message. We just purchased with a single API request. Create and open a file called type. Okay. All right.
And paste in this code sample. And so this is an arrow pointing, everything's trying to point you toward the right now.
Yeah.
Which is
it's interesting as well because if I click it, nothing happens. But I'm guessing if somehow I had closed this, I don't know how I could have closed it. It would pop back out again. But I'm not sure how I could have closed it. But let's carry on anyway. Okay.
This design of documentation and getting started guides are like, I don't know if you've seen this kind of growing in popularity, this like side-by-side kind of like, yeah. I don't know how
it's
I feel about
actually, it's based on a couple of tools that do this quite a lot, like Middleman, Redocly, and I'm pretty sure Twilio might have kickstarted one or two of those projects and then kind of just went down their own custom path sometime.
I think it's interesting because, like, if you look at this, they have to put this giant arrow to point you toward the code sample. When if it were in line, there'd be no discrepancy between when that code sample came into play, right?
Yeah, some of it could be I'm using Safari. Who knows? Maybe it didn't work properly or something. Okay, so now I need to. Thing is, I know as a developer I'm missing something here because these are, unless it's going to come later, because these are environment variables, which I'm not seeing how they get run.
That's interesting.
Which is...
Yeah, there's nothing about environment. Oh, yeah, how to set environment variables. Please note.
There we go. Okay, all right. Yeah. It's okay to hard code. Okay, I'll just hard code them.
Oh, it's okay, Twilio. Okay, sure.
Sure. I mean, as long as I don't put it on GitHub. Okay. All right. And yes, I will revoke all these later. I have done this many times before, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That looked surprisingly similar. Right. Check that. Okay. Good. So I think, yes, this is where we are going to run into some trouble. Remember that SMS-enabled phone number you bought just a few minutes ago? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Trial phone. And I don't mind if, fortunately, I have an American with me. Okay. Well, that can be my from number, I guess. Yep. Oh my God, Ian, I have an American phone number. All the fun and adventure I can have.
Yeah.
I hear you in America have so many problems with robocalls, and now I can be a source of the problem.
Are all robocalls from American phone numbers that you receive?
No, I don't receive any, but I'm constantly hearing about from podcasters in America who seem to have so much issue with them. So...
Oh yeah, actually, I'm not to rag on Twilio, but I wonder if Twilio's just like they emulate your area code often. So you get, for me, my area code's 512. It looks like someone 512 is calling, and it's like, is this what Twilio is?
I don't know. Okay, so I've changed the from field, the to number. So I am. This is another problem where we could use your phone number, but do we want to put your phone number online?
The to number. Yeah, that's interesting.
Can you SMS to the same phone number?
Yeah, why don't you try that? Let's break it.
That's going to work, but let's see. This is the problem with something like Twilio.
We won't be able to test it, right? Is there a way to receive the message in the docs, or I mean, in the portal?
Quite possibly, but that would involve going down a whole other pathway. I mean, maybe we'll just see what happens. Yeah. The to phone number. This can be any phone number. Go test with your own phone. I don't really want to test with my own phone right now. Let's see what happens, I guess. Okay. So, yes. don't know. This may or may not work.
I have a Google Voice number I'll try to recover while you're doing this.
Okay. Well, I didn't get an error. I'm guessing. Okay, I sent the message. How do I receive them? Oh, okay.
Okay, I've got a Google Voice number here.
Okay, so that's a whole different thing. So we should have sent. So I'm guessing if I go into the console now, I should see a sent message, I would think. Yes, maybe? No.
I haven't logged into this Google Voice number for years, and I have just, like you talked about spam calls. I just have like 127 voicemails from spam calls.
I mean, obviously, unfortunately, because we didn't kind of send it to a real. I tell you what, I'm actually going to do. I've lost myself here. What I actually might do is just non-screen share for a minute and send it to my German phone number and see if it actually works or not. If that is possible, of course.
I mean, I can tell you if it works with this number here. I don't mind sharing this one.
I'm wondering. Replace the from number, replace the to number. It's a good idea. I think we should probably use a real phone number. If you're on a Twilio trial account, your outgoing SMS messages are limited to phone numbers that you have verified. Does that mean sending or receiving or both? That's what I'm not sure.
Oh, that's interesting. Your outgoing
SMS... I verified my phone number, so actually that should be possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to
send it to your own phone number.
Yeah, I'm going to drop out of screen share for a second and use my phone number, and I will just tell people if it worked. I don't actually really use my phone number that much, but I still don't really want to broadcast it on the internet. So let's see. We didn't really think about this, did we? This was a...
No.
Okay. All right. So I pasted that in. I'm going to run it again and see. So this time I actually got a token in the terminal. I'll show people in a second. And yes, all right, I'll actually just undo my change and I will show what happened because things did happen. So, number one, I got this token. So something happened. And number two, yes, I did receive an SMS. I don't think I'm reviewing by showing
What's
this.
interesting is so the first time you ran it, you didn't get that token.
That's because I was sending it to a number that wasn't verified, yeah.
But there was no error logged from the script that they provided.
No, but I did get it that time. So that did work. Okay, good. And I'm guessing now if we go to the dashboard, we should see some kind of record of that, I would think, somewhere. Usage.
0?
Maybe.
No, not yet. What about clicking on that? Yeah.
I'm not sure if this actually is programmable messaging. There we go. Yes, look at that.
Nice. No errors.
Oops, and that just showed my phone number. Oh well, too late. Anyway, hopefully that was quick enough. Okay, so yeah, that did happen. Okay, good. Receive and reply. I don't know if we want to go to the next step or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think receiving. I think we should try to receive. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you consider that? So, I mean, this is a question: is what does "Hello World" mean, right? Like, what does "getting started" mean?
Well, and this is an issue with something like Twilio. They obviously have a lot of products, so it can mean many different things.
I would say typically, like a two-way communication would be the endpoint, right? So once for example, if I were building an app, I mean, maybe SMS alerts are enough as a "Hello World," right? Like just But to me, the real question is, do you feel like you feel the power of Twilio now? Like you could now modify this to do, you know?
I mean, I obviously understand how I could change the body of a message. I mean, an SMS is not much you can do with an SMS. There's only so much you can do. So I can add body, and I could populate that body with variables and things like that from an application, and I can send it. I'm guessing there's other things I can do. Let's have a look. So maybe I can like delay the sending and all sorts of things.
The hacker inside me wants you to just spend the $15 of credit writing a loop and see what happens. And the developer experience person inside of me wants you to try to receive a message and see if there's any more restrictions there, or like see if maybe I can try to message you.
I'm sorry. I'm also finding that like some weird things are happening as I scroll around. I don't know why this suddenly went red. And I kind of scrolled down and it jumped about a bit. I don't know. It was a bit strange. Send it. Okay. What I want to see is we did that. Where can I find more information on I'd like to see more information on this.
Oh, that's interesting. You can't go back from the sample. So it's a one-way. Like if you wanted to find the text to reference, yeah.
Oh, that just goes to the, yeah. Okay. I wanted to see what else can I do with that endpoint. I'm not.
Yeah, the reference is missing, right? The actual like documentation reference.
Unless, I don't know, not some kind of crazy IntelliSense there, I suppose. I mean, I can go to the SDKs, I guess. That's a somewhat personal decision. I actually saw a presentation the other day that said, don't do that in a kind of tutorial. Like, don't distract people with things they don't need to know. So, client, chat, video. I want SMS.
That is, wait, go. Wait, what? The first one is a server-side header, and then it goes into individual languages based on products. That's so interesting. So at first, the division is based on language, see? And then after that, they're like, oh, you've ignored this. Let's go into your personal language and go to each product, but then chat's missing from JavaScript. So crazy.
Yeah, this is so create, authenticate, create a new record, calls create. Maybe that's all you can do. I mean, it is just an SMS.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all you can do.
Right? There should be like, this is a valid string. You know what I mean? You need the plus sign. Like that should be, there should be like that REST doc that says like, what's a valid phone number somewhere, you know? Or like, how long can the body be, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm looking in. Oh, here we go. REST API.
There we go. Yeah, more docs.
So there's kind of It's the SDK sits above the REST API. Yeah, that's reasonable.
I think we know. I don't think this is fair because we know too much, and I'm like most people would just send a reasonable message. But I'm curious, like their decisions on how far they've buried this stuff.
I'd like to do something like delay it. I don't know why I want to do that, but that's kind of, and I mean, the answer could be I do that with JavaScript, but I'm just interested to know what's possible in this method. I
think it's a good question because I mean, it's just interesting how long it's taken us to find the actual API for this, right?
I could search, I guess, but that's authentication, explore, send an SMS. But this is back to where we started. Back to the quick start again.
Why not try searching? I'm curious what they.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
No, there's got to be a reference documentation somewhere. Oh gosh. Client message dot create. Try typing client message dot create. Oh, it searches the code. That's cool. Although, let's see. Algolia. Good job, Algolia. But we...
I just like to see like just a raw API reference.
Yeah, that's so suspicious. I'm like about to start looking myself.
Well, Yeah, maybe this is a. I don't know. Yeah, I'm missing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm looking in the wrong place or. But I'm not really browse all of Twilio's APIs. That's just where we were, wasn't it? Oh, hang on, messaging API. Oh, what? Okay, all right. So, I think this is often the problem when you have a lot of products. It's here we go. So now I think this is.
This still looks like an SDK, right? Well, you want like
Here
the
we go.
Perl
Here we go.
or something. Oh, here we go.
From
Yeah.
body monitor status callback.
Monitor. Yeah. Monitor is cool.
So yeah, that is it. Yeah. So if I wanted to do anything smarter, I'd do it with the language, and then I would get this back price unit. Interesting.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So they don't want you doing this because they kind of have this call out that says prefer a step-by-step guide to sending your message. Like, hey, this is the
really
hard way.
It's strange, isn't it, for a company that is renowned for being one of the kind of preeminent early API companies. It's almost like they want to say ignore our APIs, look at the guides instead, which I think is reasonable in some respects. It's
Yeah,
reasonable.
I mean, if your SDKs are good, why point anyone toward the reference, right?
Yeah.
It's
So I get the impression we probably don't want to go too much further down the rabbit hole right now because. So just to recap, we followed the quick start here, and there's a lot going on. I think this is my main feeling. I've got a lot going on. I'm almost a little overwhelmed, I must admit. I'd almost want to hide this. Like, I mean, the description and the code I kind of want. I almost want to kind of hide this menu because it's something I don't really need right now. I'm a bit overwhelmed. There's the 3 panels of information. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to look at, and it's similar with the console too. When I first got here, I was kind of like, there's a lot going on.
yeah. Why do you think that is?
It's a combination of there just being a lot of products, and there's a lot needed. I mean, this is the thing. The main problem Twilio has is it's dependent on other services and providers and prerequisites that are not its own. Sending SMS, phone numbers all require regulations or require infrastructure that Twilio does not operate. And that's always a little bit of an annoyance when that's a problem that you have to counter, but you have very little control over, you know?
Yeah.
There's not much they can do about that. If the European Union wants to have regulations about registering phone numbers, there's not much Twilio can do about that. And that kind of thing. And I get that pretty much anything they have problems making phone calls, using WhatsApp. Video is probably one of the areas where they don't have to worry about it because it's something like WebRTC, which is an open standard, go nuts, you know. But everything else is dependent on something else, I think. I don't know. It's interesting.
What I would have done, I mean, if I had full control of Twilio's developer experience, is I would have taken those 2 drop downs that said exactly what you wanted to do, made the phone number for you using the credit card you already put in, populated the sample with the keys like you see Stripe do, and brought you straight to this page with no other sidebar because we already know your intention based on those drop downs. We already have your credit card. So why are there all these opportunities to navigate away from those things?
I thought that's because I thought that is what Twilio used to do, which is strange. Maybe there's a reason. I would like to know. I'm sure there's a reason they stopped doing that. And I'm actually interested to know as well because one of the company I work for our commercial product, we're about to embark slowly on a similar path of having that kind of embedded code example. So I'd be interested to know why. If that was the case, why did they stop doing it?
Maybe security, maybe just exposing a web page with security, or it's just, I don't know. I've had this idea for a while for just adding exposing that functionality as a little, the ultimate code sample embed or something, and just kind of letting all documentation use it.
Interested to know what this deploy with no code is. I mean, this is obviously a developer experience test, but What is
I think they're
this?
going to bring you to Twilio Flex or something.
So what is Twilio Flex? Is this like
Flex is like it's like a dragon. It's kind of like a flow diagram that does things for call centers. Is the best way, the simplest way I can put it.
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder if this is. I wonder if this is potentially why there's not the code examples. Maybe they want the to preserve the handheld. We'll give you everything experience for the no code side. I don't know.
Yeah, so you have to create a passcode for your.
I don't know if I really want to do this. I'm gonna have to basically delete everything as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, just delete the account. No, first write the loop that sends 100 messages and then delete the account. You got to make the use of that.
If it's $15, I think you'll be lucky. This might take up to a minute.
So this is deploying the Lambda function or whatever it's doing. I mean, they might have their own backend actually, considering how large they are. Let's see.
Yeah,
I mean, they probably have their backend. Yeah, everyone's got to have a serverless offering now. SMS-notification is 9903.twilio.
Okay. Oh, so this is.
Okay.
All right. I again, even though I think it's almost too late, I am.
Yeah.
Going.
Can you try to edit this code?
Can I do what, sorry?
Click the blue code. Yeah. Let's see what this is. What this is actually on the back end. So we're back in the portal. Ooh. Functions, assets, README.
Now this is actually, I reckon this is why they don't have those embedded code examples anymore, if I am even correct in the fact they used to, because maybe it's saving it for this sort of experience. So if I, check this out. It's all kind of embedded here, getting my, this is the actual form itself, and then sending the message here.
Yeah. Oh, are they using? Whoa, they're using an actual. They're not even using their own SDK in this.
Yeah, and this is not unusual for various reasons, because it's quite hard to auto-generate code when you have an SDK pattern. Auto-generated code often just tends to use vanilla JavaScript, whatever it happens to be. So it's interesting to see that, because that's something like if you use any of those auto code generators from something like OpenAPI Toolkit or Swagger and all those sorts of tools, it often comes out like this because it has no awareness of custom SDKs. It only knows JavaScript or PHP, whatever. Which, you're right though. It's interesting. But then again, if the code is being generated for you, you don't really need the code to be written for you anyway. I suppose.
Yeah,
it's leaner.
Although you're expected to maintain it, I guess. And so another, I actually worked on a project that's really similar to this at PubNub, called PubNub Functions, and I don't think out the box we supported node modules because of the way the architecture is. So since these are they're not even scoped boxes, right? Like they're not sandboxed. You can't expose any node module that might have access to the file system, and therefore most of NPM is blocked, and it restricts. You can imagine it would restrict the package, their ability to innovate in those packages, because now it has to run in this environment where there's no file system.
Although saying all that, I think I've just realized that we were slightly in the wrong place. This is kind of more the interface to the application. The actual part that sends the messages over here is using the SDK.
Oh, okay. Context get.
It's a bit of a mix. It's a slight mix.
So what was the other thing?
Sorry?
What was the other thing then? This is an express route.
This is the web page, the JavaScript for this page, basically.
Okay. So why was it so? Oh, it's a validation.
Yeah, this is
a front-end validation.
It's just vanilla JavaScript. Vanilla JavaScript is a bit more verbose. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the send message stuff is here. Yeah, and I like this because you actually get the phone number taken out of environment variables and things like that.
Yeah, and we can see, again, they're not exposing the NPM module. They're using context.get client. So they're exposing it on their terms, basically, instead of all of NPM. Yeah.
I mean, this is quite nice. I'm assuming that this is charged additionally, I'm guessing, but it's quite nice.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the environment variables and the environment variables. Yep. And dependencies.
Dependencies?
Yeah. Oh, no, so they are.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can add modules. I bet there's a list of approved modules or something.
We could even change the node version if we wanted to.
Oh, you can use FS, but look, it's version 001-security.
So there's... So relating a little bit to what you said, actually, there was an amazing blog post on a Medium blog recently from someone who'd managed to circumvent lots of company security by making NPM modules of private NPM modules by looking in places like this and changing them to typos and catching just enough people that he was basically running NPM modules that people thought were their official private ones and weren't. And then it was a white hat hacker, fortunately, but so it's NPM is. Sorry, say it again.
Can you click on edit for that FS module? I'm curious if they're maintaining their own FS.
Oh no, it's just editing the version.
So, we can look at the NPM directory and see what I'm wondering if this is like their own FS implementation or if it's
NPM directory. I think this is the directory effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing if I tried to, I don't know, install something crazily insecure, whatever that might mean, I would probably potentially get a message. I'm not quite sure what that would be, but yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of check happening here. But this is quite interesting, actually. I get the feeling that this is possibly what things are being pushed towards, maybe. I'm not sure. It looks like it's quite new. It's in beta, but it was quite cool. That's quite nice, actually. I quite like this. It's interesting though because how did I get here? Yeah, deploy with no code. So if I had gone back to, if I went back to where, I'm not sure if this will take me in the flow or not. Create a new project. This might take me back to that similar workflow. Verify my account. Give your account a name. I think I already did that. I'm not sure. I might have gone back too far.
What are your goals now?
I just wonder if you remember that workflow that we went through earlier where it asked about applications and things. Yeah. I wonder if I now do the no code option, I get dropped straight into that. I just wondered because I've already done all this. I'm a little bit confused here.
Verify you're a human. Yeah. What even?
I've already done all this. I think no, I've got stuck in a loop here. I'm not sure what I'm doing. What's going on now? Let's go back to the console, maybe.
Oh no, you've been flagged.
I've broken it. I don't know. Maybe I can come back.
One of our viewers has
already started. I don't know what I've done. This could be. I also have blockers on, which can sometimes break things. So maybe it's not me. Anyway, I think we've probably waffled on too long. Anyway, so I don't know. What are your feelings? I'm not sure. What are your feelings?
I think I need a soundboard for when you encounter, blockers and there's questions and stuff. I can go, huh? With a little soundboard. That's what I need.
I mean, what were your feelings on Twilio?
On Twilio? Twilio, I think it's sort of, you can see how all the different product departments are competing for one another. And the poor portal team is probably asked to put 1 million CTAs on that first landing page.
Yeah.
So there's this quote, I forget, it's like every product is the result of the organization that creates. I forget what it's called.
Yeah. It's a fairly famous quote, that one. Yeah. And every company gets a certain point where you have to sort of start being conscious of that, because a company gets to a certain size and things start going out into teams, and then you have to be very careful of okay, how we see ourselves is not how other people see ourselves. We've got to be careful here. I don't know. it's also really hard to say, of course, because we dove in. I mean, I don't know. We dove in a little bit. I possibly, I don't know. I'm maybe excusing us too much. I mean, this is kind of a process anyone would go through, I suppose. We jumped around a bit, but again, that's what a lot of people do. We managed to get started, but we got a little bit confused on the way. Yeah. There's a lot going on, I think is kind of the summary, I guess.
I just looked it up. It's called Conway's Law.
Yeah, Conway's Law. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a few, actually.
How else do I feel? I feel like it could be easier, but I understand why the decisions are the way they are.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's very easy for us to sit here and then kind of the two of us say, oh, I think this will be a recurring theme. We're giving feedback, but don't necessarily listen fully to us.
The thing I feel the most is like this betrayal of those two things that you thoughtfully picked out of what you're going to do, and then they didn't give you any resources to do those things.
Yeah, and I would love to go back and try that again, but I can't because for some reason I'm getting stuck on verifying my phone number again. So yeah.
There's a lot of in the credit card and sign up and here's my information and you care about what I'm going to do, and then boom, dump you into the land of 100 options.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I think that's probably a good point. Yeah. Okay. Well, this was our first attempt at this. I hope everybody found it interesting. We'll tighten up in time, and we also hope to actually have like a product manager or a engineering manager or lead developer or someone join us as well from the project to defend them. So, I mean, and we haven't quite decided who that will be in 2 weeks yet, have we? In the meantime, how can people stay in touch with other things you do, Ian?
My Twitter is Ian Jennings, IANJNNNGS. And I run a company called Haxor, HAXOR, which does developer experience testing. So we basically do this. We hire developers to get started with your API, and they record their screen. Mm-hmm. You get all sorts of feedback from real devs and people who have less experience than us, if you can imagine.
I felt like an absolute rookie at times there, but yeah.
What about yourself? How can people get in touch with you?
You can find me at christianchiller.com. I have a couple of other streams there. One where I just kind of get hands-on and build something with a little less kind of criticizing, maybe, and also some gaming and things like that as well. So christianchiller.com is the best place you can find me, and at Chris Chinch on Twitter. So I guess until next time, Ian, I think you've really got it down. You need to for the show name.
Sorry, you're kind of frozen for me right now. Right on cue. Okay. Sorry, where I got the inspiration for the show name? Can I broadcast my screen? I mean, everyone who's watched this probably knows, but it's Steve Ballmer, who in the Windows 95 release, maybe was it 95, goes up on stage and he's like, developers, and he's all sweaty. And he's shouting, but really that's about the importance of opening up to the developer community. And we, look where Windows is now. So we're kind of bringing that back a little bit and trying to advocate for the developer a little bit here. Because I mean, coding's a new literacy, and these are the tools people are going to be using to get their work done. So
I think that's a great place to wrap up. Yeah. All right.
Signing off.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody. That's at 17:30 UTC +1 for me. What is it on an American time zone? For people who want to know. Okay. 11:30 Eastern time.
Yeah. Yep. And make sure you send Chris some nice text messages since you leaked his phone number.